And we are live, yeah, buddy. I was trying to find something else to play, but this is just as good because it's my music. So what can I tell you? Hey y'all, welcome to another session of Impromptu with Maakheru. I'm Ray Hagins. My spiritual name is Ankotep Maakheru Satepenra. Or I left off Sarah, right? Sarah Ankotep Maakheru Satepenra, which means a son of God who has been chosen by God to be a teacher of truth, bringing life and peace. That's my assignment, y'all. What can I tell you? And listen, last week, uh, for our first show of Impromptu with Maakheru, it was so awesome. It was so powerful. Okay. And I mean, listen, I got so much feedback from people, saying, can you have Sister Charly back on? When are you going to have her back on? So I talked to her yesterday or day before, and I said, listen, I need you back by popular demand. Okay. And so here we are again to continue our discussion from last week because we got so into the talk and just rolling with it. There's several points that we didn't even bring out last week. So Charlie said, let's go back and revisit and cover stuff we didn't cover last week. So here we are for another session again. And you know what, brothers and sisters? It's not our Sunday morning gathering. And I never do anything without acknowledging our ancestors. Okay, so let me take a moment and acknowledge our ancestors at this time. Okay, yeah, man, let's take a moment and do that. And even if we don't sing one more time, and we like we do on Sunday, we always acknowledge our ancestors because it is because of their life, deeds, legacy, and sacrifice that we're here. So come on and join with the brothers and I as we do this together. Come on, everybody. Oh, ancestors, blacker than 1,000 midnights. African ancestors, it is to you that we, your children, give respect and honor. Yeah. Oh, ancestors, we call upon you and welcoming you in this place. African ancestors, let your presence fill this place. Oh, ancestors, who have been purposely excluded from the history books so that the world would not know of your greatness. Our African ancestors who gave civilization to the world. Our African ancestors who gave the arts to the world. Our African ancestors who gave music to the world. Our African ancestors who gave the arts to the world. Our African ancestors who gave mathematics to the world. Our African ancestors who gave medicine to the world. Our African ancestors who gave literature to the world. Yeah. Our African ancestors who gave philosophy to the world. Our African ancestors who gave God consciousness to the world. Oh, ancestors, we thank you for devoting your life to make a future for us, your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Now stand with us, strengthen us, guide us, teach us, and protect us from the snare of our enemies. Rise up, O African ancestors, and let our enemies be scattered, and give us the wisdom and the boldness to deal with our oppressors and those who would hinder the liberation and empowerment of our people. Rise up, O African ancestors, and live in us, and we will not fail to honor you. We will not fail to respect you. We will not fail to hear you, and we will not betray you. Ashe, Yevo, yeah, family. We're not going to do the roll call tonight. I just wanted to do the oath to the ancestors to acknowledge them, okay? And I remember the first time I did that, and it was so powerful that on the way home from the fellowship that Sunday, I'm saying to the Almighty and to the ancestors, oh man, thank you for such a wonderful fellowship today. And the ancestors spoke to me and said, you know what? Hey, it would have been like that all along if you had recognized us sooner. Did you get that?
Mm.
If you had
Mm.
sooner. In other words, I was going through the ritual of, when church services getting started, opening song, da 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 da. But we weren't taking the time to honor those who made it possible for us to be. And I don't miss doing that now. Well, let me bring my guests on because this is impromptu with Maakheru. And last week, this awesome sister, man, she rocked the house. She just shared her wisdom with us. So let me bring her on here. Let me get her. Let me see if I can pull her up here. There she is. Look at her. Look at her, y'all. Yeah, buddy. Y'all, this is Charly Brown. Okay.
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Hey, girl, it's good to see you. Family, I
Oh,
met this
nice to
sister.
see you
I
all
just met
too.
this sister, in fact, not too long ago, and got to meet her face to face. What, a little over a week ago, maybe.
Yes.
And we were talking, and that's how we came up with this whole program here of impromptu with my Akaru. Okay, I said,
Yeah.
Charlie, we need to go online and talk and say the things that we're sharing with each other, so the other people can so Charlie, welcome back. Welcome back. It's good to
Thank
have
you
you.
so much. I am so glad to be back. I am thankful for, again, being allowed to be a part of what you do and given this opportunity because I have actually been, to be honest, just a little uncomfortable with the concept because it's new. And
Yeah.
people tell me all the time, you know, Charlotte, you should get in front of the camera and talk about what you think and feel about things. You have some great points of view, and you have a great presence and stuff. And honestly, it's not that I didn't believe them. They were telling the truth. It's just that I was, just uncomfortable with it. And I know sometimes you can't tell, right?
Yeah, like I said, when I used to listen to you or watch your videos, and
Mhm,
again, they were little, just little like thought for the day kind of thing you were
mhm,
dropping.
mhm,
And the deep thing about it, Charlie, is this: when you are listening to a person,
mhm,
okay, if that person has something to say, you
mhm,
can tell within 30 seconds. You don't have to
mhm,
listen to them talk for a whole 15, 20 minutes. You know, as soon as they start talking, you say, okay, they got a good head on their shoulders or their head
mhm.
is in the right place. And when I
Mhm.
heard you, that's what I felt. You see?
Yeah,
And it's
thank you.
oh yeah, and so I said, oh yeah, you got to share what you have with the world. And brothers and sisters, that's really what this platform is designed for. Impromptu with my Akaru is designed for the brothers and sisters out there who are just down to earth brothers and sisters. They don't have a whole lot of alphabets behind their name or some dumb stuff like that. I don't mean to say dumb. I mean, we work
Right,
hard for
right. I
those
know what you
things,
mean. Yes.
but just keeping it real, man. You got so many people out there who are just wearing a professional mask, okay?
Mhm.
And we're in the day and time now where people are saying, okay, I'm tired of masks. Okay, not only the ones they got us wearing, but I'm tired of two face. I'm tired of
Yes.
phony. You know, uh, I just want to see people who are for real. And so that's why I appreciate you coming on and just keeping it real. you know
Oh yeah, well that I can do.
I can
That,
tell.
and that's why I speak so freely because it's coming from the heart. It's not contrived. I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I'm expressing my life experiences. And you know what? We all have something that we can share with each other, and we can give to the conversation. But what the problem is, one of the things we're going to be talking about today is communication in relationships. And I think as a whole, we have an issue with proper communication. This world system conditioned us to be competitive, to be divisive, to shut down conversations if it doesn't line up with what I believe, what I think, what I want, to say. And because of that, we bring that same energy to our relationships. We're not able to have decent conversations, just, just chill, just lay back and just enjoy each other's energy and have great conversation. And because of that, we are constantly positioning ourselves and posturing ourselves to be in an argument or to be divisive over stupid stuff. You come to a conversation with love in your heart and concern for the individual you're talking to, and they will instantly turn it into an argument because this world has conditioned them to say, hey, I don't want you to think you know something I don't know. Like I said last week, not putting myself down, but it's true. I can be dumber than a bag of hammers. But the one thing that I love about me is that I'm teachable and that I'm vulnerable and I'm open to hear what anybody says. And that's one of the things that I'm going to be talking about today when I talk about it in relation to, relationships is, our communication. Why is it that we allow this world to shape us in such a way that the very thing we need to do, we can't do properly because of our egos and pride?
We've been raised, as you said, we've been raised to be combative.
Yeah, but shaped by this world.
Yeah, and not only that, if to our brothers and sisters who grew up in a dysfunctional home environment, okay, they're also combative.
Right.
As I shared, and when I teach on temperament therapy, understanding a person's temperament does not tell me exactly how they're going to react to a given stimuli. Okay. But it does tell me that there will be a reaction, whether it's positive or negative.
Yeah.
Okay. And based on your environment, you respond accordingly. In other words, if a child grew up watching his mother or her dad kick the dog, okay, every time they got angry, trust me, when that person becomes an adult and they become angry, they're gonna want to kick something.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Because they grew up watching
me.
that.
I bite.
Yeah. So our environment has everything to do with how we handle our situations, and it's
Absolutely.
really sad. When it comes to relationships, and by the way, brothers and sisters, that's what we're talking about, picking up from last week, obstacles to a healthy relationship, and we need to understand what those things are. We need to really understand, healthy relationships just doesn't happen automatically. I don't know why people think that their relationship is supposed to automatically be healthy just because you exist. Oh no. Yeah. Almost said hell no. Right.
But that's true. But why do we think that we're supposed to just jump right into a relationship with no knowledge of who this person is beyond maybe 1, 2 years, 2 months, of interaction, when this person comes with a long history that we have yet to discover, and that's one thing that I try to tell people that I meet that are unaware of who I am and how I communicate and I am not familiar with them as well. Is I ask them to just give us an opportunity to get to know each other, to understand each other's rhythm, because if you immediately you can't pull the reins on yourself enough to just stop yourself from reacting in a negative way, then that tells me you lack the self-awareness that would put you in a better position to be understood, because you're trying to push your way and the way you do things on a person who doesn't know you. And you're not even giving them room to get to know you and understand how you are, what you think, and why you're wired the way you are, and why you react the way you do. And it's very difficult trying to convince people who are hardwired with always these preconceived notions
Mhm.
about how other people communicate that they don't know. You know, we come from two different backgrounds, two different, ways of being, raised. This world, like I said before, has also shaped us and how we deal with each other. And then you expect me to just meet you and know that I shouldn't say certain things to you, huh?
Or I expect you to say certain things to me,
Right.
and you have absolutely no idea that
No
I
idea.
expect that.
Right. And that
And then I get upset with you when you don't meet my expectations. But
yeah,
I didn't
but we have
inform you as to what they were.
right. We haven't had a discussion or anything. So I really believe in allowing that grace, because I have people saying things to me all the time that if it were my mother, they'd get karate chopped in the throat for that. They would call it throat. you know, you don't just say anything to her.
Uh-huh.
But but I am patient because I recognize, you know, you don't know that that's improper, obviously, because if you did, you wouldn't say that or operate that way. So I am going to extend this grace to you to, let you figure it out. But anyway, everybody doesn't understand that. And so that's why in relationships, when you're coming together and you're embarking on this life together, you have to already know and understand that we're going to sometimes face moments when we don't agree with each other, and we have to navigate through that conversation in a way that is respectful, so we can get our point across. Because isn't that the point? I want you to understand what I'm saying. I want you to hear me. And so I gotta know that even though I'm used to mom and dad yelling and carrying on, I don't know you. So let's talk about that. Why not start the communication off like, I came from a home where there was always yelling. You should tell your
Wow. Mm,
I
mm,
believe, that you should
mm.
these are the kinds of conversations. You know how couples, they go out on a date or whatever, and there's all this dead air. They don't know what to talk about.
Right, right, right.
Talk about, you know. You don't have to ask the same old, canned statements like, not that you don't want to know like where a person's from and what's their favorite
Mhm.
food, or how many men have you dated, or how many women have you slept with. It's not that you don't ask those things too, but I think the really hard questions, those challenging questions, you should kind of think about those things before you start dating someone. And
Mm.
maybe even say, hey, you know what? On our first date, I'd like us to each write down what we think would be controversial conversations, or conversations that make us uneasy, and let's discuss those. I mean, what do you think?
I think you're right on. It's ironic you're saying this because I remember I was in a workshop and I was on a panel, right?
Uh-huh.
And in fact, it was Ian Van Zandt.
Ah,
She had me as her guest on the panel discussing relationships.
mhm,
And a couple of questions came up. One of the questions that came up was, what do we need to do to um, diminish the divorce rate? You know,
mm,
and it was weird because I'd already said this on the Michael Basin show, and so I just shared it at this workshop that
mhm.
Iyanla was having, and I said, have an expiration date on the marriage license.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, just like we have an expiration date on our driver's license, on all the other licenses, right? You
True, true,
know,
true.
uh, have an expiration date. For example, if we have an expiration date, if this marriage license is good for 3 years, right?
Okay.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
come on, man. If we're not getting along,
Yeah.
and I know that, in 6 months, I won't have to put up with this anymore. Then I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to file for divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because
Mm-hmm.
I know that this is going to expire.
Yes.
Got me? And if so in other words, I guess I'm back to that thing we talked about last week, till death do us part. You know, how many people honestly don't even want to, won't don't want that in the marriage vows now.
Right. It's crazy.
And the truth of the matter is, you know, when you say till death do us part, what are you saying? Are you saying until one of us actually physically dies? You know, I've actually had, listen, I've had people come to my office, women in tears, and men too, but more so the women. And they say, Dr. Hagins, do I have to die out of this thing? You know,
Oh,
I
that's
mean, that
tragic.
because that's they're that miserable. You know,
Yeah.
they weren't see, and again, it's our fault. When I say our fault, I mean the previous generations.
Mm,
The previous generations have failed the oncoming generations,
mm.
okay, by not preparing them for life.
Yes, I
You
agree.
understand?
I agree.
We indoctrinate the oncoming generation. Okay,
Hmm.
we put all of this programming in their head,
Hmm.
but we don't prepare them for the vicissitudes of life. You know, so many of our young people and young adults are going through life hitting and missing, trial and error.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
so yeah, we got to prepare. We got to start having classes, man.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I say that when you get together and you have a date lined up, you should actually prepare for that date. Don't just prepare the nice dress and, what kind of
Mm.
perfume you're going to wear, or whether or not you have enough money and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, okay, let's face it. When people go out on dates, it is because they
Uh
are
oh.
looking for
Uh
some.
oh.
Oh,
Okay. I feel something coming here. Go ahead.
well,
Go ahead. Go ahead. We're gonna keep it real. Go ahead.
okay.
And
When
you ain't
they
gotta
are
bite your tongue. You ain't gotta bite your tongue. This is my platform. Go ahead with it. This is
okay, okay.
oh, you know what?
So
Before you do that, because I'm sorry, well,
no, no, that's okay.
I was so anxious to get right into the talk.
Oh,
It didn't
okay.
dawn on me. There may be people here this week that weren't with us last week. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
and they have
yeah.
absolutely no idea who Charlie Brown is. Okay,
Um,
what makes Charlie Brown qualified to even say the things she's saying? I mean, how does she know this? Okay, well, let's talk. Tell the folk a little bit about Charlie Brown.
I'll
Tell them how
tell
long
you,
you
I'm
tell
just
them how long you've been married. Okay, you know.
28 years.
Did
And
you say? Did you? And the old man said, did you say 28 years?
yes,
Huh? Huh? Huh?
yes, yes, that's right. Yes. And it
After
hasn't
after
been,
after being with
huh?
somebody for 28 years, you know, you should kind of know a little bit about what you're talking about.
A little bit, but I also
Yeah,
have a lot
I
of
would think so.
experience.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's put it this way: you've been married for 28 years, and you're still married. You're still in that relationship, so you're doing something right.
Well, I think part of it is that I am a great communicator, you
That
know,
does. There you
and
go. That works.
and and he might say, ad nauseum, but in my mind, I feel that it is the greatest sign of love, because when you stop communicating, you basically saying, I don't care, dude.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
whatever.
That's so
I could
true.
care less.
That's so true.
And he has
Yeah,
even said sometimes, like, it's okay, just keep talking, because when you
yeah.
stop talking, that's when we're in trouble.
Yep, that's true.
and,
And I trust
and
that
that's
everybody
true.
out there catches that point. Okay. And I tell in my counseling and even in my relationships, I've always said, as long as we talk, we can get through anything
Hmm.
as long as we talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Uh like you said, it was when the talking stops. Uh
Yeah.
you know, and what happens when the talking stops? thoughts begin.
Oh yeah.
And then the thoughts check out. Now I hope this comes out right. Okay, the thoughts turns into speculation.
Right.
Okay, and then you begin to believe your own speculation.
Absolutely.
Okay, until you're convinced that what you speculated about actually happened.
Right.
Did that make sense?
Right. Oh yeah.
And now we got a problem because it blew
Yep.
all out of proportion in your mind. Wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's why I believe that if I'm clear about what I feel, what I think, what I even perceive, then what I respect is you also communicating in a way that says, I hear what you're saying and I have a clear answer for you. What I dislike is anyone, whether it's in my marriage or a friend, whatever your status is in my life, vague generalities, canned statements, and answering a question with a question. Here's how my mind works. If I ask you a very direct question and you answer my question with a question out, like, now, why would I do that? Does that make any sense? That means you just confirmed that what I asked you is true.
Is that what that means?
No, I'm serious. I'm
I
not
know you're
joking.
serious.
Yeah.
And the reason why I laugh is because in the male mind, right? And that's what we're dealing with here.
Yep.
We're talking about opposites communicating with each other, right?
Uh-huh. This is
Okay.
why I asked the question again. Once I get now, does that make sense? Why would I do that? Then I say, I'll ask
Well,
again.
see that is a typical male response.
Yes. And that's one I do not tolerate because I am a communicator. And
Okay.
my position is we're smart adults here and we're claiming to love each other.
Okay.
And if you're not under any shady shenanigans, you ought to be able to answer my question directly. I mean, if you ask me, honey, what's for dinner? Then I'm going to say, oh, chicken and rice or whatever. Like, oh, okay. Plain and simple. Not like, now, why would I do that? Why would I respond in that way? Does that make any sense to you? No, that's foolishness.
Okay.
That's foolishness. So I'll ask again. Say, okay, so maybe you missed the question. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Did you say or do this? Look, you're trying to start an argument.
I'm listening to you and I'm looking at the comments here too. And my computer is almost too far away for me to read the comments. And I want to read them because there's some. I want to post some of them actually.
Yeah. Let's hear some. I want to hear what somebody says to this stuff. Yeah, that's good. You see any?
Yeah, I see. Again, I got to get close to the computer. I don't want to get too close because then I'll be too close to the camera. And I need like almost binoculars here.
Go ahead and see for a second. Nobody ain't gonna. No one's gonna care. One.
I mean, first of all, guys, I appreciate you guys being with us and sharing your views and your comments. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Is it possible? Oh my goodness. What does it say here? Is it possible that you can find somewhere away from them? Okay, that's talking to somebody else here. The vowel says it, so it waves, it leaves us. I can't even see this stuff, man. See if it happened to get past. Can you see the comments?
No, where are they? Because
It would be on the left side of your page there.
Oh, okay. Let me
let's see. Needs some relationship in school.
Okay, now I see them. I see them. I had to click on something. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
If you
Let's
see a
see.
comment you want to highlight, or let me know, and I'll put
Cartia.
on Cortia.
I see
Yeah.
one from Cortia. Okay, I'm sorry, Cortia. But anyway, it says they don't like to talk. Most of them, they shut down, get angry. Well, I don't know if most of them do, but I definitely feel that there are a population of people who don't communicate well, and their first thing is to be angry because they have already decided that you're attacking them because you challenge them. So if you're dealing with, and this is my thing, this is my communication style. I'm going to challenge you. Why? Because
Mhm.
they told me I got to stay with this joker for the rest of my days, right? For the rest of my life, for
Let's
eternity,
let's
until
let's
death
let's talk about
do
that.
us
Let's talk
part.
about that. Let's talk about
Yeah.
that because you know, let's talk about it. Let's this whole thing of, because the importance of communication. That's what we are, and communicating skills. I think I touched on the fact last week that the male mind is not really that skilled in communicating.
I don't believe that.
Well, follow what I'm saying now, okay? And I'm
No,
not trying to convince you. I'm just
no,
sharing
I'm
it,
sorry.
okay? The reason why the male mind is not that skilled in communicating, okay,
Okay.
is because we were not taught the value of talking, okay?
Okay.
We make noise as boys. And when we become grown men, we make noise. Okay, when we were children, instead of talking, we made noise like
Mhm.
all that kind of noise, in the playground.
Mhm.
I shot you,
Mhm.
bang, bang, bang. No, you didn't. Whereas girls, y'all talk to each other. You grew up talking to each other.
Mhm.
The male
Mhm.
mind. Now we know how to communicate. We just don't do it because we
Okay.
we know how to say what we need to say to get y'all where
Hmm.
we want y'all to be.
Oh, is that
Did
right?
that, did that make
Well,
sense?
well, well. Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
come on. And that's why we used to say, boy, that brother sure know how to rap. His rap is strong, because he knows what to say. You know, he knows the
Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
Huh?
May I interject?
I'm sorry,
That
you're
kind
breaking
of
out
thing.
there. Say that again.
I said, may I interject?
Sure, by all means. You ain't got to ask that. Just go on with it.
It's going with it. Okay. Well, that goes back to what I just said, that they know how to communicate, when they
Yeah,
want to.
to
And
reach a
and and so
goal.
that and this is my point. We have got to stop. If we actually want our relationships to succeed, we got to stop playing crazy. You know,
Okay.
the thing is, we are different. That's true. I get that. But because of the wonder of the human creation, I know that no one, in men or women, is subject to be ignorant unless that is a choice. Ignorance is a choice. Lack of communication is a choice, because think about it. You have the English language. You have your degree that you think is so important, which you feel determines whether or not you're intelligent or not. I have a degree, so therefore I have a grade. Well, I'm of the position that the degree can sometimes give us an excuse to not use our brains, and our childhood traumas give us an excuse not to communicate. And at the end of the day, if you made it through school, if you are able to work a job and do an interview and then speak to clients, you can communicate with your woman. You can communicate with your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your children. You can communicate with whomever. Now, I get that we should consider the way people were raised in their communication styles, how that was developed. I give you that. That's true. But I do not subscribe to the idea that men are poor communicators because they don't know how. Men have been taught how to, in some cases, and I want to make sure that I don't generalize, because that's another part of, that's a downfall to communication, is these generalizations that we do. Women are like this, men are like that. What some men do when it comes to communicating, when they are trying to avoid being authentic and being open and honest, and trying to veer away from being what they consider being attacked or found out, they play stupid. I use that term because I feel that if you want to be seen as the brilliant king, the intelligent being that you were created to be, you don't get to ride on things like intelligence, decency,
Right.
honor, you know, royalty, respectability. You don't get to have those things to be a part of you if you're around here playing crazy like you don't understand what I'm saying and I'm speaking plain English. You don't get to have that respect. Respect is not only earned, respect is a gift. And when you understand that it is a gift, you're going to operate in a way that says, I deserve this. You're not just respecting me because I'm a man, because I have balls. You're respecting me because I've earned it. I've showed you that I can be trusted, that I am brave enough to stand flat-footed and tell you, yep, I did that. That was wrong. I own it. And then I, as your woman, is going to respect you because you stood like a man and you took your lumps. My thing is, if you don't want me coming at you, asking you questions, challenging you, avoid the behavior.
Avoid the what?
Behavior. And that is what the woman should
Okay.
do too. If you don't want to be challenged, avoid the behavior that causes your actions to be in question. But
Wow.
if you find that you want to do certain things, if you want to operate a certain way, that's okay, because this life experience is going to be a challenge, and we have to figure ourselves out and discover who we are. So sometimes you're going to do things that may not line up with conventional wisdom or what your spouse wants you to do. And that's okay. You're not a bad person because you don't do everything just the way she or he wants you to do it. It becomes a bit of a challenge to respect you when you do the things that you want to do, and your significant other or whoever challenge you about those things, and you play crazy or try to act as if they aren't. That's where you lose my respect.
Okay.
That's why
Okay.
communication is poor. That's why communication has struggle, because people don't want to own their mess. They don't want to take responsibility. So if you don't want to take responsibility, and then I end up being upset by your behavior, why are you tripping? Didn't you know that this would happen?
Okay. Okay. As you say, what did you think was going to happen, huh? Right?
I mean, what do I look like? You get with me because I'm a confident person who can speak up for herself. You know, you say you're impressed with those things. And then when I assert myself and ask you with respect, what are you doing? And then you dishonor that respect by not being open and honest, then don't be surprised when I'm looking at you sideways.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Let me take a breather so you can weigh in.
Well, no, I don't. Yeah, no, you don't need to take a breather. You my guest. You got it. Go. Shucks. I'm listening to
Yes.
you.
Okay. Laura says, she says, our brothers need not behave with arrogance, right? Right. Arrogance is not necessary in a loving relationship. You operate in arrogance, you're saying that I don't trust my significant others to relax and to be at peace and to feel safe. So you always have to push your way and try to push yourself as the man, and to operate in a way that says, you know, I'm in control. I'm the leader. I'm in charge here. And I think that kind of arrogance again opens the door to the miscommunication, to the feeling that we're not in a partnership, but you're trying to put yourself above me. And if you're trying to put yourself above me, why are we doing this? Like, what's the point?
Wow.
One person is Latif, Chicago. She says, or he says, I'm so sorry. He says, my apologies. He says, I believe us males aren't taught to communicate our emotions. Well, I agree that men are taught, like, sit down, son, let me teach you how to manage your emotions. I believe that. But what I also believe is that you are a wonderfully crafted human being, and your mind and your emotions are your own. And if you were not taught by anyone, those emotions will surface on their own. You have to make a choice to process your emotions and evaluate your own self and your actions, and say to yourself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? Where is this coming from? Especially when you're constantly hearing someone say to you, you're too angry. I just asked you a simple question. If you keep hearing that, you have a decision to make. Am I going to pop off, or am I going to really kind of just sit still, take a breather, take a walk, and really evaluate my emotions? Because here's the thing. This is why I don't give men a pass for this stuff. When you go on a job and that boss that pays your check, has a problem, an issue with you, and maybe he's talking to you in a tone that you find to be offensive, and you got bills to pay. Smart men, they'll demand respect and be calm, but they're gonna be popping off like they do they want it. Not unless they just don't need a job, and they just know, I'm done with this job anyway, so I'm gonna say whatever the heck I want to say and lose it. But they manage to control themselves. I've seen it in action. Grown, big, early men. Their boss will be talking at a little pee-wee man, talking to him all kinds of ways, and they may say a little something back, but trust me, it is not with the vigor and the venom that they may talk to their woman with. And women too. They somehow, some way, they manage to control their anger, their rage. They manage to calm down when they're in front of that boss man, but they get home and they get willy-nilly, and they get, they lose their mind. You have to take on anger.
Why
so I don't believe
that. Why do you think it is that some men, and not just men, women too, some women feel that they can reply or talk to or respond or react, to their mate without being sensitive,
disrespectful,
or being disrespectful?
I have an answer for that too.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you. No, please, you go ahead.
No. That was the question. That was the question.
Oh, okay. So that stuff. Okay, women who have come from dysfunction and also been raised in this society, they have been told, a man can't hit a woman. A man has to respect a lady. He has to always treat a lady with respect. So there is a cockiness that comes with that. There's a comfort when your man ain't gonna slap you. When your man isn't going to disrespect you. When you marry a man or get with a man, you're dating a man that is a little passive and isn't really a person who likes arguing and all that kind of stuff. So if you come from a background where women are all up in the man's face and saying, you punk this and you're that, and you're smacking them and yelling at them and talking like that, you're doing that because there's a level of comfort that you trust that this man is going to be honorable. And I think some men, some women who have been in abusive relationships, they seek the next time, in some cases, a man who is less aggressive, and they see that as an opportunity to get out some of that pent up aggression. It's almost like they're reliving that old relationship with this new man who's kind to them, who takes good care of them, who respects them. And it's really sad because you see men that are not the negative examples, and they're trying to do the right thing, and then they get connected with some woman who's broken and messed up, and then she's disrespecting them. Whoopi Goldberg said one day on The View, you know Whoopi, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
On
yeah.
The View, she was talking about there was some situation that happened at that time where a young man had basically knocked this girl out. Man, I think it happened like in an elevator or something. He was a ball player. I'm sorry, I don't know the name. I don't remember it right now. But he knocked her out. And I think at first she had hit him or something like that. And so the consensus was, no matter what a woman says or does to you as a man, you never hit a woman because she's a woman. She's a delicate little flower. She's a woman. And Whoopi says, I believe the lesson should be, women, don't assume you know what a man is going to do in a heated situation where you've slapped him and he's still feeling the sting of your hand across his face. Even if he's been taught that women should not be slapped, in that heated moment, you could get clocked.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Oh.
she was not in any way advocating men hitting women. What she
Right.
was
I got you.
is women, just like men, should keep their hands to themselves. And I agree. I would not let
Somebody needs to hear this today. Yeah.
I would
Mm-hmm.
not ride on that idea that because I'm a woman, I can put my hands on you. The wonderful thing about me is I can articulate my feelings. And if I feel you're not hearing me, I know how to handle that too. I don't have to put my hands on you. I can live my life, do my thing, and talk to you when you're in a space where you can hear me and we can, resolve our issues. But putting my hands on you is never an option. First of all, because I don't want to get knocked out.
Okay.
Secondly, I just don't disrespect people like that. See, I'm a smart woman. I don't need to put my hands on you to get my point across. I can talk calm, and I can say exactly what I mean exactly what I say. And then if I feel you don't get it or trying to not get it, I know what to do about that. So yeah, don't put your hands on your man, ladies. Don't do that. And when it comes to your communication style, remember the objective is to get him to hear you. So you always have to keep in mind that if you talk in a way that is disrespectful, if he checks you on how you're talking and you're not aware that you're coming off disrespectfully, take a moment, breathe, don't say stuff, stop being a punk. You need to take it like a man and stuff. Oh my God, ain't nobody got time to be talking to you. If you do that, he will not hear you. He won't.
I'm laughing because you were giving illustration, but it sounded so realistic because that's exactly what sisters be doing. I mean, I've actually heard this kind of behavior in public. Okay, from women hollering at their man or in public. I mean, just being loud. Man. Ugh. This is such a needed. We need to do a workshop actually on developing proper communication skills.
It's so important. Oh, this is a good question. This is a good question here. This is by J. Mott Green. J. Mott says, I'm confused. Amos's confused. Let's see what this person's confused about. Says, I'm confused. Are intelligent people now automatically poor communicators or without emotions? Okay, I
Is
get
that
exactly
this
where
so
they come
clear?
from.
Yes. Let me see what he
Huh?
said. I'm confused. Are intelligent people now automatically poor communicators or without emotions? Okay.
Okay. I think it was something I said. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I think it was something that I said that is making that why that comment came up. Hold on, something happened. Please.
And Brooklyn Blue Sky says, who is responsible to teach men to communicate their emotions? Mm.
Uh, okay,
Take
that's a good one.
responsibility for yourselves, huh? Okay. But
Right.
that's a good question. And again, that's back to the programming, how we're raised. You know, I mean, okay, look at it this way. In our culture as African people,
Mm-hmm.
our youth, and this is where the Jews stole the practice from us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they have what's called bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as a young boy, you know, as he's entering teenage years, he goes through manhood training, and same thing with the female, they go through womanhood training. Why is
Mm-hmm.
that happening with us? I mean, you
That
know,
we
who you know, like the brother just asked, are it supposed to be automatic? You know, uh,
Yeah,
man.
he was saying are intelligent people now automatically poor communications or without emotions? And I say no. I might have sounded like I was making a generalization, but this is what I mean. Sometimes in this world, because we are indoctrinated with a standard that is not of our own choosing, and we
Okay.
are go to these people's schools and we communicate the way they say we should, like, we see their programs and on TV, and they show how they see people communicating and that kind of thing, and we're taught to be combative and divisive and stuff, and there's like it's almost like it's a it's um it's a part of the programming that if you are so intellectual, the standards of your college or university or whatever, you're intellectual by what what information you retained from school, and you did not get a proper example or communication skills through your education process on how to talk to your family, not a boss, but your family, and you haven't had that experience. You might be a person who lacked the communication skills when it comes to your interpersonal relationships with those closest to you, because you're used to learning about communication on an academic level.
Okay.
Or like
Instead of a practical level. Okay.
yes, thank you. That's a great way to put it. Thank you for
Mhm.
for, for that, because I couldn't think of the words. But yeah, and like if you are a man or a woman, I'll use a man right now because I'm a lady. If you're a man who watches a lot of sports, and every way, and all forms of communication, you are making reference to sports, you're making sports analogies, and using sports examples, and all of your communications, you're having a conversation about something that is not sports related, but you're always bringing that into the equation when you're having communication. Wouldn't you then say that that person lacks communication skills if or their communication style is shaped by their love for sports? When you say that, isn't it like
Yeah, I would say that if that, especially if that's what they have to resort to get a
right,
point across,
right?
to
So
get
if
their point across. Yeah.
right. If we're always having conversations and you refer to uh, um, uh, how you used to do things when you were growing up at home with your mom and dad,
Mm-hmm.
And you keep saying year after year, well, the reason I keep doing this is because that's the way my mom and my dad used to talk. And I keep telling you, well, let's do something different, because we're not mom and dad, we're individuals. And I don't like the way you communicate. And I would like it if you would, do it this way, because I feel more comfortable in that kind of with that kind of communication style. I don't like yelling. I feel scared. I feel uncomfortable. I feel like you don't you respect me or even love me when you communicate like that. So can you kind of turn on how you treat people you respect? There are a lot of men and women who are very fake when it comes to how they deal with their family, because they act like, I just can't communicate with you right because you trigger me, you this, that, or the other. I have watched people disrespect these same kinds of people in public, in front of other people, and they manage to calm down and not react.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get in nobody's face. They're not cussing at anybody. They manage to calm down, take a moment, be, passive about it, not say a word. They know somebody is up to something, no good, or they're just being disrespected in some kind of way, and they don't call them on it. But at home, cussing, yelling, screaming, ignoring, being unkind. So that's why I don't really have, uh, uh, um, I don't give men or women a pass because of even how the baggage they have, because
Mm-hmm.
they will choose to turn on the right kind of behavior depending on who they want to impress. If you don't want to impress me, you don't care about my feelings or whatever, you just go off and nitpick what I say and what I do, whenever we're communicating. But then, I see you communicating with other people and they're dragging you, and they're being disrespectful in some kind of way. And you're mumbling on your breath about them, and you're not directly talking to them about your issues. So what is it? Are you wired by your home rearing, or are you wired by, the traumas of your childhood, or are you not? Why can you turn it on and turn it off whenever you want to?
Well, I think that it's important in establishing a strong relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Again, back to number one, yes, communication is very important. But I think it would really help if we would try to become friends before becoming lovers
Yes.
in
Oh
in
my God,
relation.
that's a good one. That's a good one, Dr. Hagins. That's actually one of those things I talk about all the time. I tell my children when they're going out on dates, say, remember, this is not your spouse. You are
Thank
trying
you.
to,
Oh my God.
you are trying, yeah,
Why are you trying to treat your girlfriend like a wife? Or why are you trying to treat your boyfriend like a husband? Woo,
right.
man,
And
woo. That's
and
that's
then if you approached it like, this is somebody I'm trying to get to know, like, okay, this is another thing I believe. I believe that when you're just meeting a man or a woman, whatever, um, I believe that you should consider going Dutch. If you want to, go out on
now
a date.
listen. If I could, I would create a giant PA system to put in the sky to speak to the whole planet. And I would give you the microphone and I would say it again. Say it again.
Yes, and
To the
I
whole
really do.
planet.
Yes, I believe that. Why? Because let me tell you what you do when you offer that. What you do is you're saying, you know, we're just getting to know each other. I don't think you need to be obligated to pay for my meal, and I want to do this in good faith. showing that I really want to get to know you, and I want us to establish a trust with each other and a respect for each other, and embark on a friendship, so that we are comfortable knowing that we're about business. We're genuinely trying to get to know each other and see if we even like each other before we start obligating each other to do things for each other that is reserved for deeper connections. And we're just meeting each other. So let's just, see how we do, and just be free and open and comfortable, and just see each other as potential friends, not romantic relationship or interest. Now, I get it that if you're dating someone that you find very attractive, it is, you're going to automatically think of them that way. But what I'm saying is, you don't have to operate as if that's what this person is, because you do have to keep talking to yourself and reminding yourself, this is not my husband, this is not my wife, this is not even my boyfriend or girlfriend, or a deep relationship yet. We're just getting to know each other. And what I wish people would do in the dating process, I wish they could be comfortable enough to like talk about uh, 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 that that part of relating to each other in the beginning, like be able to say, I realize that through this conversation and this interaction, we may find that we are very different and that we may not even be a match. But what I'd like you to do in this experience is, what I'd like for us to do in this experience, I want us to be respectful, and to be careful about each other's hearts and feelings, and not be rude and just go ghost on each other. I want us to be able to have a conversation and talk about some of the things that we may disagree on, that could be issues if we were to embark on a more serious relationship. But knowing that we're just friends and we're going to talk like friends. Like, if I was your buddy, and I wasn't somebody you were trying to get with, you might say, like, man, girl, when you said, that you don't believe in wedding vows, that really took me aback, because, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, and that's what I was, raised on. And then I said, well, I understand that and I respect that, but the reason I don't is very, uh, 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 understandable, if you want me to share with you my feelings. So my point is, you're going to sometimes run into people that you find physically attractive, but the more you talk, you're going to realize there are so many differences, maybe that maybe you won't be a match for a more romantic relationship. And you need to be able to be a man or a woman and state what your concerns are, and hear what those concerns are, and then respectfully respond to them in your authenticity, and not get in your feelings and go ghost and ignore texts and ignore calls and make up lies. That kind of foolishness means that, yeah, you're not ready for grown up relationships. You basically should go home, have a seat, chill, maybe have some coffee or a stiff drink, and get to a place where you can relax in yourself and be comfortable with what is necessary to be a man or a woman out here in these streets trying to date. Because people who just go ghost on you like that, that is the most immature, indecent, inhuman thing you can do for a person that really, liked you and is making an effort to try to communicate. So there again.
What about, okay, now I'm gonna throw questions at you now. Okay.
Oh my God.
What about the kind of situation where there's so many things coming to me right now to oh my God. And I
Take your
hate it
time.
when it's running. I hate it when it's running through my head so fast I can't grab one, right? Uh let me grab one right quick here that surfaces. Here you have a situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where here's a brother or sister, well, it's more likely it's going to happen with the sister. than the brother.
Okay.
Okay, where sister, you're in a setting, okay, where it's a group of people in the
Mm-hmm.
setting. It's not a date. It's not just the two of you,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you're in a setting where it's several people, at least 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people, right? Okay, you're at a restaurant. Let's throw this illustration out here. And so this sister walks up to a brother, right? Now, mind you,
Okay.
they don't know each other, right? They
Mm-hmm.
may know of each other, but they don't know each other.
Yeah.
And she says to the brother, uh, I came, today, and I thought I had more money on me. Would you mind paying for my meal?
Okay.
Why you sit back and smile? Okay. Would you mind paying for my meal? And so it positions this brother, okay, who is maybe looked up to by everybody in the group. It
Mm.
positions this brother to do one of two things, right? And say, sister, I don't know you. Why are you asking me to pay for your meal? Or
Mm-hmm.
does the brother say reluctantly, but he doesn't want to embarrass the lady. He don't want to be embarrassed. And he says, sure, I'll pay for your meal. But underneath it all, she just made the wrong impression.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She just
Now,
told that brother, what kind of person she is by even doing that.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do you think? I mean, am I making sense?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I get that. I mean, I want to understand the context. Is she running game? Is she, you know, is she sincerely?
I don't know. She doesn't know this guy. The guy doesn't know her. But she asked him to pay for her meal.
Yeah.
But yet she knew she was going out to eat.
Exactly. Okay. So yes. So I'm clear on the context now. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much for clearing that out. Oh yeah. She's fraudulent.
Oh,
That's not right. And what I would do if for whatever reason I sincerely forgot my money, somehow I thought it was in my wallet or something, and I needed some help so I don't have to wash dishes, in the kitchen. I would say, listen, I need you to do this for me. I have, maybe if I had something on me, like some kind of collateral or something, I give it to them or whatever like that. But I do something to reassure them that I'm going to give you your money back, or you can follow me to my home and I will give you the money tonight. I really sincerely forgot it, and I honestly am grateful if you help me out, but trust me, I have the money. I can go to an ATM. I just didn't remember to get the right person, whatever like that. There are ways you can redeem yourself. Just saying, give me some money, please, or whatever. I need you to pay for my meal because I forgot. Yeah, that's unacceptable, especially if you know you were going to eat,
right.
you know. But it
You know,
is,
it's, it's
but
it's
because
like
women always,
the message that it sends to that brother is
mhm.
like, okay, you are a schemer.
Yes, absolutely.
You
I
know,
agree.
you run these games here.
And
And then
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
No, go ahead. Please finish your thought. I'm so sorry.
Well, that's and it almost like heads in the direction of, and I want to say this carefully and correct. It almost like heads in the direction of making the brother think, okay, are you a gold digger or what?
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
I mean,
And that
how
goes
how are you so comfortable even asking that?
asking a strange person.
Especially if you are there, sister, with your friends, your other female friends.
Hmm.
So why didn't you ask one of them?
Right. Yeah, good point. It does make you look bad. And that's why it's important that if you are a person who never wants to be misunderstood. The burden is on you to become an effective communicator.
That'll
You
preach. That'll
learn,
preach.
yeah, you have to learn how to properly communicate. You have to take context clues. You know, when someone's telling you that that is improper, or the way you handle that, the way you said that might have, been offensive, or you did not properly communicate your desires, wants, whatever. You need to take that into consideration, do a self-evaluation, and figure out how you can get to a place where you can effectively communicate your feelings. In the case of a woman wanting another person to spend money on them, rather than to pull some crazy stuff like, oh, I forgot my, money, trying to be slick. If you're trying to, say, get to know this person, you want to communicate with them beyond this point, just simply say, hey, this was a nice, gathering. I'm so glad, we all got a chance to sit out. I forget your name. What's your name again? Just go ahead and introduce yourself. Can I tell you this story real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It's one that I love to share because it is what happens. I hope I didn't tell you this last week,
But it's okay. You got
okay.
people who probably didn't hear you last week, so go ahead.
Okay. This moment in my life was just one of the biggest moments to shape my life for the better. It was in my early 20s. I think I was 20. I think I was exactly 20 years old. And I had a crush on a young man from school. And he was about maybe 3 years older than I was. And I had it bad for him. I was one of those stalker types, following him around, peeking around corners and stuff like that. Oh, it was terrible. Respecting his space and all that kind of stuff, but I was an awkward young lady and stuff. I wore the glasses and I was all, pent up. So very awkward and very, uncomfortable in my own skin. But he just had this face that looked so kind. And I say that because that's what it was. I was not lusting after him or anything like that. I looked at him as a kind boy. He seemed so sweet. Now he was cute too. Don't get it twisted now. He was fine.
Okay.
But he was such a good boy, I could tell. So anyway, he graduates before I do, 3 years ahead. So I was miserable those last 3 years without him in my life.
Wow.
2 years. So anyway, he's gone. I'm still carrying a torch for this young man. I managed to get to babysit a woman's son who was friends with family members or whatever. I found out he lived on her street. So, I go making my, way to, babysit this lady's kid. And she knew I liked this kid. So she was like, yeah, I know what you're doing. So anyway, I would do stuff like that. But fast forward, I'm now 20 years old, out of high school now, maybe, I guess it was 2-3 years or whatever. Still carrying a torch for this person and never said a word to him about it. And he wasn't paying me no attention. So I decide I'm going to send him a Christmas card expressing my desire to meet him.
Okay.
So I did it. And I was nervous. You can imagine you write something, then you erase it, then you say, no, that sounds too desperate. And then you erase that and you change this and stuff. So I went back and forth for a while. Finally, I go ahead, put it in the mail, and wait to see what happens. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Finally, I'm at work. I'm working at an accounting firm. And my mother calls me and she says, guess what? I said, what? She said, Anthony responded. I was like, ah!
Okay. Okay.
I was so excited. Oh my God, I was beyond elated. I still have a picture to this day where a coworker took a picture of me after getting that phone call. When I tell you, my teeth are like, ah! I was grinning from ear to ear, so excited. So he then he responded, and it was very simple. He just signed a card and with his name and stuff. And I said, well, you know, at least he responded. He didn't say he was going to meet me or anything like that. Then one day I'm at home and he gives me a call. Child, I lost my mind. I lost all my senses. I couldn't talk. I was fumbling over my words and everything. So anyway, he finally comes to my home. My mother and my sister are in the kitchen. He's walking behind me. He's about, I think at the time, I think he was about maybe 6'4", something like that, because I remember he was tall. He's walking behind me. And I come into the kitchen. They go like this. I'm like, they were pleased, to say the least. So fast forward, we began talking and stuff, and it wasn't any whirlwind romance or anything like that. It was just two people getting to know each other. After a while, months had passed or whatever, and so I again initiate, you know, because once I sent the card, I'm like, you know, shoot, you know, I'm like a G now, like, you know, shoot, I'm gonna ask some more stuff. So I say to him, I said, well, what do you think about us being, you know, more than friends?
Say that again.
What do you think about us being more than friends?
More than friends. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And so he said, yeah, I know, right? So I remember now I'm a Christian girl, and that's one of the things, you know, I was doing. I was pushing my faith too. You know, I was telling him about Jesus. He wasn't there at the time, you know, and I was talking to him about the Lord. So he says, well, Charlotte, I really like you, but I want us to, you know, just be friends. I want us to be friends. And of course, I think I was devastated. I was like, but okay, all right. Well, we remained friends. He still communicated with me and everything. He still called me. We met each other at a club one time, and he asked me to dance and all that kind of stuff. And he still communicated with me once I moved to Georgia. He still would call me and tell me that he was in town and would I like to hang out and all that kind of stuff. He was still kind. He was still that nice boy he had always been. He never made me feel like you're ugly and I'm not interested in you. And I never pressed him anymore. I never talked to him about that again. He made it clear. This is the lesson in this. This is what I want to get to. This young man at the time, I think he was about 23 years old. He answered my question like a man. And he said it with love and compassion and sensitivity to my feelings because he knew what I'd gone through just to get to know him. He didn't want me to feel hurt. And he managed to stay in communications, even though he knew I had a crush on him. And he understood that by my own actions, I was able to be okay with that. I'm just grateful that still able to remain friends. And he still remained the same. He did not waver in the friendship. He was kind to me all the time. Mm-hmm. He eventually got married as I had already gotten married before he had. And we still communicated for a while, but then I got the impression that his wife wasn't feeling that. So we stopped communicating and I hadn't talked to her. But the point is, there are a lot of men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s that don't have that level of manly responses to a woman they're not interested in. They go ghost. They are rude. They are even borderline ignorant in their behavior. They are
Mm.
extremely insensitive to that woman's humanity. And some women will do that too. I don't like you, so I try to make you feel like garbage. I like,
Wow.
ew,
Wow.
really? I know women who actually operate like that, and men as well. And it is
Mm.
so sad because this young man hadn't even been out here in the world that long, knew how to treat a woman.
Mm.
And that's the point. He was able to communicate. He responded to my card. He didn't say anything disrespectful or mean or
Mm-hmm.
unkind. He responded. See, this is the kind of thing to turn a woman on. If you're wondering, what can woo a woman, stand in your
I,
man.
I see folk getting
You
closer
see my
to their computer
posture?
right now.
You
They want to
you
hear
see,
this real good. Okay, go ahead.
you want to get a woman's attention. You know, you want to change her mind. Be a man about it.
All
Be a
right.
man about it. Stand flat-footed and state your business. Don't be
Now
running all off and ignoring
you know
calls and texts and all that kind of stuff. That's silliness. That's for children.
it's really interesting that we've heard that phrase, be a man, be a man,
Oh,
be a man, be a man. Unfortunately, there are a lot of grown males. Notice I didn't say men. I said a lot of grown males who don't
mhm.
know the first thing about being a man.
Can I say something?
Sure, by all means.
The thing is, we are all wired and destined and shaped to be able to appear and to be in this life experience what we were born to be. There are innate qualities that we already have. There are things we already know, and we operate in those things every single day. The only people I give a pass for not operating in the characteristics of a man or woman are those people who are mentally retarded, who
Okay,
suffer from some
okay. How can a person be what they don't know how to be?
let me explain.
Okay.
Again, they choose. You choose. Okay, if a man has a female boss and she communicates with him through email that she wants to have a meeting with him, do you think he's going to resort to his usual man pattern stupidity and not respond to his boss?
Of course not.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. That's the point.
Yeah, but
That's
that
the
that
point.
that 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 doesn't necessarily mean he's a man.
Well, my point is, yes, you're right. But this is the point. He has the potential to be whatever he chooses to be, to do whatever he chooses to do, to react and operate in a manner that he chooses. He is not under some kind of demonic
Okay.
possession.
Okay. I
He
got you.
knows how to act. I am not going to dishonor my man by assuming he's an idiot because it is easier for him to escape his responsibility. I choose to see him as the brilliant, intelligent, smart being that he is, and I'm always going to talk to him like he got good sense. Now, if he chooses to be a fool, that's going to be on him, and I might need to make other choices. You dig?
I love it.
You choosing to be a fool, I can't stop you. But as far as me allowing you to continue in that and I stay with you, yeah,
Okay.
I don't. No.
Okay. The reason why I say that is because there is a biblical principle, right? It says
Mm-hmm.
these words. And notice I said a biblical principle. Okay.
Okay.
When I was a child, I spake like a child. I acted like a child. I thought like a child. But
Mm-hmm.
when I became a man, I put away childish things.
There it is.
There are too many of our brothers out here who have not put away childish things.
That's right. And the women as well. The women as
And women
well.
too. Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
And women too.
That's right.
Yeah.
I had a horrible, experience with men. They all are dogs. They don't know how to treat a woman and da, 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 da. Okay, well, here's the thing. If you come to the table with this chip on your shoulder and think
Mm,
you're entitled to be angry simply because the last person treated you poorly, and
okay.
you're already clairvoyant and determining that this man is going to give you trouble because of what Harold did,
Mm-hmm.
then you talk to this person crazy. You are a part of the issue in your relationship as well.
Mm.
You cannot use that as an excuse, and you have to also realize that all the things you feel you deserve out of your relationship, you are going to hinder yourself from getting if you approach your
Ooh.
man in that manner. So when you
Okay. Whoa,
start
whoa,
talking
whoa,
about
whoa.
ain't no good,
You moving too, as Richard Pryor said, you moving too fast for the kid. Okay. There, what you're saying right now is so good. It needs to be said again and again and again and slower. Okay. Now you just said something about coming to the table. I think you used those words, coming to the table, or with. Let me restate it back as I processed what you said.
okay,
Okay, and then again, I could be processing it out of my own biasness as well. So I hope I'm not.
oh,
Okay.
that's all right.
But one of the things, especially being in the church, right?
Mm,
One of the things that I've heard so much of,
mhm.
and that is women trying to dictate their demands
Mm.
within the first week of being introduced to somebody.
Isn't
Did I
that
say that
not?
correct?
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh gosh, yep, yep.
Well,
I know what you're talking
I
about.
had to actually say to a sister trying to give her some advice, right? I had to say, sister, you don't come through the door with demands. You got to
Ain't that fool?
get to know each other. What you coming through the door? What are you coming through the door? What demands for? I've heard
The
sisters
man.
say to brothers, you know, what I'm not putting up with, or what I'm not. You don't
Wow.
know
Yeah,
the
ain't that
dude.
crazy?
You don't know the guy. I mean, and then again, what is the purpose of what is the see? These are things we need to ask. What is the purpose of even getting? Why are we even talking to each other? Period. What is it that we're trying to accomplish? What are we trying to reach? What goal? What's our direction? Where are we going here? You
Yeah,
know,
well,
people
yeah.
think automatically, and y'all, our time is up and gone already. Doggone it. People think automatically that just because we exist,
Mhm,
we're supposed to go forward into this relationship. One of the things that I teach is the 5 levels of development in relationship. The
mhm,
first level is what I call acquaintance. That's a
okay.
casual knowing of someone. The second
Mhm,
level is associate.
mhm,
That's when you realize that you and this other person have something in common, okay, that gives more
mhm,
strength to your relationship. The third level is that of a friend. I know sometimes when we're
mhm.
talking about friendship, we say words like we're just friends. I think using the word just when it comes to a friend is an insult.
Mhm.
because
Mm.
there's nothing more special than a friend. The
Mm-hmm.
most
That's
powerful
right.
relationship you can have is a friend. Okay, a
Mm-hmm.
friend is a person with who you know you can be yourself with. You don't have
Yeah,
to be on your guard. You don't have to
right.
worry about what you're saying. You don't have to worry about those contradictions in your nature that causes other people to judge you or
Yeah,
misjudge you.
yes.
When you're with a friend, you can let your hair down even if you're bald headed. You follow me?
Yeah,
With, with,
right.
when you're with
Absolutely.
when you're with your friend, you don't have to be anything but who you genuinely are.
Yes, I
When you're
agree.
with a
I
friend,
agree. Yes, friendship.
I know people who are, I'm not going to say they're married. I'm going to say they're legally living together. Okay?
Okay. Mhm.
Because marriage is a in my opinion, marriage is when two different souls literally become one as a union with each other. Okay. I know people who are, that's why I call it legally living together, because they're not friends. They
Mm-hmm.
just tolerating each other. It's like a tolerable marriage instead of a happy marriage.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
I
Uh,
do.
and their life is miserable, so they're not living with a friend. That's man, that's got to be horrible. That's got to
Mm-hmm.
be horrible
Yeah,
to live with
yeah,
somebody and y'all are not friends.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
just
honestly, I can say in my own relationship, we are definitely friends.
that's good.
But,
That's good.
what I discovered, and I'm being authentic here because I want people to understand, the dynamics of relationship and how it can try you and it can uh, um, put you in a position where you're questioning your relationship and all of that. But uh we are friends and we take care of each other, we look out for each other, we care for each other, and that kind of thing. But in a lot of areas we are not a match, and it has been a struggle.
Mm,
And but the wonderful thing about it is that friendship you talked about. I think that is uh what resonates with me in this moment is the fact that we really are friends first. We were in the beginning. We were
hmm
friends first.
that means
We were,
everything.
it means everything. We were very sacrificial when it came to our dating relationship. We looked out for each
Hmm.
other. You know,
Hmm.
um, we sincerely cared about each other. We did not. We both came to the relationship uh, without much. So the mentality was always, let's bring our resources together and that kind of thing. So, of course, when you start having trouble in your relationship, you are going to fall back on that friendship.
Hmm. Hmm. And
Our
and and
relationship,
listen, without that, the relationship cannot be healthy. I mean, just
right,
can't.
right,
Okay.
right.
You gotta, I love it when I hear people like you just said about your husband, when people say, I married my friend. That is so important, man. I
It's
put this
very important.
question on here because I don't know if you wanted to answer it or whatever. My daughter and I would like to know why in most ever
Every
conversation with
conversation.
black people, adults, they start asking about what church, Lord have mercy, what church you belong to. I never hear white people ask that question. My reply, I don't go because I have been there and tried that. I don't need a preacher, just excellent teachers. All right, Diane, I heard that, girl. And that's very, I listen, what Diane just said, I think I might share that with you. I don't know if I shared that with you yesterday or somebody I was talking to yesterday. You know, when I meet people here in Atlanta,
Hmm.
before one of the first things they want to know, so what church you go to? You
Yeah,
know,
you did say that to me. You got to talk to somebody else too, but yeah, I do remember you
so it was
mentioning
you. I
that.
just I just
It's
said that
true.
yesterday, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with that? Why is that important? Why is that important? What church you go to? You see how messed up we are? See the programming?
It's a
Because
religious response. It's,
we don't really want to know what church you go to. We want to what we really want to know is, do you believe what I believe?
mhm. It's
That's
it's
what we want to
learned
know.
behavior. It's learned behavior. It's when I don't know what else to say. It's poor communication.
Okay. Yes.
It's like I refer to the programming when I don't know how to communicate authentically. It's like
Or
I
hold
know
it.
some
All
people.
right. Hold an intelligent conversation.
It's a go-to. I know some people may not understand that connection and understand but that's what it is. It's like I refer to the religious programming when I don't know how to carry on authentic conversation, when I don't know how to come out of that shell. It's like I can talk about Jesus all day long. I can talk about the church and quote scriptures all day long. It's like a person who's into sports, like I was talking about earlier. Everything they say is about sports, 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 sports.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they have conversation outside of that. Well, same with religion. If you are a person who's heavily religious, always in the church, always quoting the pastor, always reading your word, always referring, you ask them how they doing. Yeah, how you doing, sis? Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm asking specifically because I want to know, how are you? I know
Yes.
that your just passed away and you got 4 babies to take care of. How are things going? Things the devil trying to attack me, but I'm still blessed and highly favored. I'm still blessed. God is still on the throne. All of that is learned
You
behavior.
sound like you've been there. You sound like you've been there, girl.
Yeah, yeah. I never operated in that. I was always a person who's operating in emotional intelligence and able to express that I'm not having a good day. I'm sad. I'm hurting. Somebody help me, please. I'm drowning.
Wow. Well,
I was always with my
you
emotions.
know one of the reasons why, and I'm gonna go ahead and go here for those out there who you've been mentally kidnapped by religion, but you got folk who, for them to keep it real, is almost like admitting defeat.
Yeah.
In other words, when you've been singing every time you go to church, in the name of Jesus, in the name of
In the
Jesus.
name of Jesus, we've
Okay, I
got the
told you
victory.
I'm in there. We got the victory, right? Okay. See, in other words, you cannot allow, if you're in the church, you cannot allow your testimony to be anything other than victorious living.
Right.
Because
And notice,
otherwise you're living in defeat.
but notice, even when you do that, trouble still comes. Life
Right,
still
exactly.
life
Yes,
still
we gotta
punches you in
keep
the
it
gut.
real.
It does not
Yeah, we
it
gotta
does
keep it
not
real.
stop no matter how much you praise, no matter how much you pray, and again, we don't want to take away from people the things they need in order to get through, because we all have our pacifier
Ooh.
that we
Mm.
need. But at the end of the day, if we don't make it a trend to connect to each other and give each other the freedom and the emotional support to be able to express our truths, then we're going to still be in the name of Jesus and crying ourselves to sleep instead
I'm
of
telling you, yes, yes.
instead of having someone next to us who I had a friend once, she had lost her father, and I swear it was like maybe 5 years, and she would still have moments when she would cry about her dad. And um, I was always emotionally there with her. I would even cry with her genuinely cry with her because I allowed myself to feel her pain. I allowed myself to get in it. And that's what I do. I allow myself so much to get in it, to sometimes even for myself, I forget for a moment that this is not my experience. This is not my situation. And then I snap out of it. But that kind of empathy and emotional connection and sincerity is missing. We have been trained through the church, and this is why this is how communication is also messed up. We have been trained in the church to suck it up. We are that proverbial dad who sees his son skin his knee and said, "Ah, come on, champ, be a man. You're okay." Instead of picking him up and wiping his foot off and showing him some love and compassion. It is the most ridiculous thing to think you are making a girl out of a boy simply by showing compassion to your son.
Talk good, girl.
We're messed
Talk
up.
good.
6-year-olds are falling and skinning their knees and going to their daddy, "Daddy, pick me up." And their dad's looking down on them like, "Oh, come on, little man. You ain't no girl. You all right."
Yeah.
And so we're asking those little boys to now be men who can deal with the pain of life, who can deal with the scars of life. But yes, when
hold on a minute. Hold on. Let me do this. Okay. People, God bless America. About to make me cuss. Don't come on my damn channel posting foolishness about hot girls and boys. Okay. Now I'm telling y'all now. Whoever posted it, I'm gonna block you. All right. Just don't do that, people. Don't do that. Don't try to use my platform to promote your damn ignorance. I'm sorry,
that's right.
sister.
No, you're quite all right. I'm glad you dealt with it.
So I'm blocking this person right now. Okay, so you are blocked. People, if you want respect, then be respectful when you come to my channel. I have zero tolerance for people coming on here with your ego, trying to make a name for yourself or whatever. Don't do that. Don't do that. Sister, I am so sorry for interrupting you like that.
No, you're quite all right. I'm so glad you handled
it. I don't tolerate that kind of foolishness.
Yeah, that's that manliness. Handling your business.
Hey.
That's what I'm talking about.
And listen, I do not walk around holding on to the invisible handrail.
Yeah.
Okay, that's this right here. Okay, I don't hold on to the invisible handrail.
No, that's right, brother.
Out, okay.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Handle that. Put them in their place. Tell them what's good.
That's right. That's right. Don't y'all come on my channel pulling that
foolishness. That's right. That's good. Yeah, because that is a sign of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
People who don't know how to engage in a conversation, always looking for something to distract and deflect from something positive. Poor communicators are always looking for something simple-minded and stupid to do to deflect and get other people off of their game.
Yes.
Who actually get something from this. They're not just in here just trying to see what people look like and all that kind of stuff. They really want to be engaged in the conversation and get some tidbits to help them through life. And then you got some idiot coming in here with some nonsense.
Right. Yeah, but that's okay. Like I said, we dealt with it. I will deal with it. I sure will. And you know what? I have held you, oh Lord, maybe about 20 minutes longer than I planned on it. So
I had a great time. I truly enjoyed it. But I wanted to say just real quick, everybody, listen to me. You listening?
There you go. Give them some final words.
Yes. We need to start seeing each other's humanity. And what that means is we need to start connecting to each other and not relying on, deities in the sky or scripture to get us through. We have wisdom and the emotional fortitude to heal hearts
Yes.
to make people feel love with just a hug. I mean, a nice embrace. If you're a person who is a hugger, you know, if you like to hug people and to hold people close, and you're not, you know, operating in some other, you know, mindset that is not serving that moment, and you have the ability to do that, things like that are so important. To hug people, to listen to them, to ask them how they're feeling, and actually listen, actually
Yes.
sit and listen to their stories. Take the time to connect to each other. Men and women should be able to, I should be able to talk to any man and express
Yes.
feelings and thoughts, but I find that a lot of times you cannot. If you are not expressing some kind of interest in them sexually, they're not interested. They could care less about your mind. They could care less about how you feel or what you think or how you see the world, your
Talk good.
concerns, less. And that needs to stop. You're not getting what you want out of life, and you're feeling defeated and depleted because you're not approaching your relationships in an authentic way where you're actually concerned about the feelings of your fellow human beings.
Talk
Stop
good,
looking
Charlie.
at women like a piece of meat. Women, stop looking at men like a way out of your poverty. Start looking at these
Woo.
human beings first, and looking at their heart and their souls, and getting to know what are the traumas, what are the dramas, what are the feelings and the emotions that this person is carrying with them that is causing them not to be able to present their best person in the world. What can I do to help you be a better person? And if you are determined to be a fool, how can I exit letting you still know that somebody still cared about you, and you have something to carry with yourself, even in your brokenness, that somebody did care. I might have messed it up, but someone stood there and tried to show me some love. So, you
There
know,
you go.
keep your faith if that's what you need in order to fulfill your life or whatever like that. But first, let it always be first about connecting to other human beings in an
Yes.
authentic, loving way and caring way, and
Ah,
we can move
yeah.
mountains with level of the consciousness.
You know, Charlie, everything that you just said, there's a very dear friend of mine. His name is Pastor Calvin McKinney out of Garfield, New Jersey. And Pastor McKinney he's always said these words. And I remember the first time I heard him saying it, I locked in on it because it was what you just said. He said,
Mm.
God has no hands and feet but ours.
Mm.
So God's work on earth is going to have to be through us.
Mm. Wow, and
That's it.
that's so true. That's so true. It's so
That's
simple,
it.
but it's so true.
Yes. We asking God to do this for that person, do this for that person, do this. No, you do it.
You do it right.
There you go.
You show up.
But
You do it.
yeah,
And when you get in the
Charlie, I've had a
practice,
ball. I've had a
yeah,
ball. And
me too.
this not we're gonna do this again, and we're gonna do this again, and we're gonna do this again, and we're gonna do this again. And brothers and sisters, listen, I need you guys out there to do something for me. Okay. I need you to tell my sister Charly Brown, okay, that she did a good job online. I've been trying to tell her that she's awesome, but she hasn't been doing this. So I'm trying to get her to do this more often because I want to see her have her own show. Okay. And hey, man, yeah, I girl, shoot, I can see you reaching more people than Oprah.
Oh my God.
I'm serious.
That is so sweet. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Well, you
You
bring it
got
out
good
of me.
stuff to say. You got good stuff.
Thank
Listen, I'm gonna do whatever I can to help make that happen, Charlie. I want people to hear you. So hey, yeah. Thanks for being on again with me. You know,
my
and
pleasure. Thank you.
you let me know when you got ready to start practicing to have your own show.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to make it sooner than later. I'm gonna try.
Well, you're
I'm gonna
doing
do
fine
it.
already.
Thank you so
You
much.
you're
I'm
doing fine.
encouraged. Thank
I
you.
told you sound good. You got good presence, good presentation. Oh yeah. This is what we need. We need more positive stuff online instead of all of the foolish mess that's going on out there,
Mm-hmm.
among us, man.
Yes. Yep, we
Yeah.
do.
Yep. I'll
Well,
keep
thank
dropping
you.
my thank you, Charlie. Thank you so much. Give your
You are
husband my
so welcome.
regards, your
I
family,
sure will.
you
And thank
know.
you, everybody, for listening. I appreciate you, your encouraging words and stuff. It means so much to me. And I want to make sure that we all share with the world those things, our life experiences and stuff. We all have a lot of wisdom. We have just been so used to trusting outside sources that we don't trust ourselves. And then some of us are so caught up in our humanness in this world construct that we don't know how to encourage each other because we're trying to compete with each other. And when you're trying to
Mm.
compete with your brothers and sisters, you don't show up for them and encourage them and build them up. You're a lot of you I don't even know. And I know a lot of people who are not even tuning in today. People that I've shared what I'm trying to do that are not even showing up. As a matter of fact, they're going out of their way to make sure that they do not support me. But what is so
Yeah,
awesome,
really. You hey,
yes.
listen, let me tell you like one of the old mothers of the church used to do. She dipped snuff, right? She'd get up and testify with the
Oh,
snuff
no,
in her mouth.
not the snow. What you know about the snow, man? What you know?
And she give
You
and
know,
she said, praise the Lord, saints.
no.
I just want y'all to know
Oh my
that
gosh,
you
no,
got to take a stand for what you know is
no.
right.
Oh
So
my gosh.
listen,
You got that
if,
down pat.
hey, listen, I grew
Did
up
she have a
watching
spit
the
jar
girl
too? Did she have a spit jar?
when the mother, I'm not gonna call her name out of respect, but mother would get up in church and testify with her lips
Ooh,
full.
that's funny. That
And sometimes be on one side like that right there.
no,
Yeah.
no.
hmm
Oh
And,
my
and and
God.
and she would actually have a cup in church, and she lean over
Oh,
and
oh,
and and spit in that cup like that there. Yeah.
yikes.
But when she spoke, everybody knew mother was serious. Oh God, let me
Oh
get
my
out of here.
God.
Charlie,
That's
thanks
too
for being
funny.
with me again.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Again, I hope to see you all, and thank you so much for your support.
By the way, for those out there who might want to send you an email to tell you how much they enjoyed you, okay, or reach out to you, y'all. She's on Facebook. That's how we met on Facebook. Her
Oh,
name on Facebook is just like you see it there, Charly Brown.
that's
Okay,
me.
on Facebook. Okay. Uh, and if you want to reach out to her, you can just reach out to her on Facebook, everybody. Okay. Let the sister know or post in your comments. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel, but post your comments and let the sister know. And listen, encourage her. Let her know that you know that she sounds good. All right, real simple.
Thank you.
I'm trying to
Thank
convince
you.
the girl. She got so much in her. And you know what, Charlie? Let me say this. My dear friend and brother Miles Monroe, the late Miles Monroe,
Oh,
he
you
said,
knew Miles Moore? Wow.
Miles, yes, yes. In fact, listen,
Wow.
Miles Monroe, Carlton Pearson,
Mm.
okay, I was supposed to take Miles and Carlton Pearson to Egypt, just the three of us,
Oh,
okay,
wow.
and do a personal tour of the Nile Valley for my brothers. So they
Hmm.
they they were transitioning, you know, and of course, Bishop Pearson is transitioned. He's there, and hey, yeah,
Wow.
Miles. What I was about to say is Miles said there's so much in the cemetery, okay, because people
Mm.
who had stuff in them never got it
Hmm.
out of them, and they died with it in them. Okay,
Mm.
so all of their talent, all of their wisdom, all of their knowledge
Mm.
just went into the ground. So we can't let that happen with you. It's not going to
No,
happen.
No.
All right, so get ready.
That. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be taken into the grave. That's
No,
for sure.
can't let that happen. Okay, my
Yes.
sister. Until next time. Okay.
Thank you. Until next time.
Yeah.
Until next time.
I want to sing. Oh, you sing too. See? Oh, okay. Yeah. See? Okay. That's right, y'all. Let me. Charlie told me she's a songwriter, right?
Yeah.
She's a photographer, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. See?
That's right.
Wonderful.
I do it
Uh,
all. I even
okay.
do a dance.
Get ready, girl, because the best is yet to come. All right. I'll
Yes.
talk with you later, sis.
Okay. See you later,
Okay.
everybody. Bye.
Okay. Yes. Family, you've been listening to Impromptu with Maakheru, and my guest has been Sister Charly Brown. Y'all hear how awesome she is, right? Listen, send her a message on Facebook. Go to her Facebook page, Charly Brown. Again, that's CHARLY Brown, and let her know how much you enjoyed her being on the show tonight. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I just got a text message. I'm about to read it out loud here. Uh, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I don't want to put them on blast. Okay. But listen, family, thanks for being with me. Okay, you guys out there, stay strong. We'll talk to y'all later. See you next time on Impromptu with Maakheru. Everybody out there, stay strong. All right, peace.